Yeah, with the dark wood.
Hey, it's Norm from Tested. I'm joined by John Duncan, ex-ILM Model Shop, and you're co-owner of the Argyle Workshop.
Argyle Workshop, yep.
We are in Adam's shop today, though,
Woohoo.
for part 5 of the arcade cabinet build. Thanks for joining us. First of all, thank you, Tested Premium members, for bringing this series to YouTube. Check that out on the link below. But if you are just jumping in today, go check out the previous episodes. We have 4 previous episodes where we got up to this point. And today we want to actually get to assembly.
Finally. We got
Finally.
lots of pieces,
Yes.
lots of sawdust, and now we need to put things together, and hopefully we'll have something to look at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So, in terms of the components of the cabinet itself, we have it's kind of segmented where we have the control boards. They they piece together,
Right.
And then there are the 4 main sides of the cabinet.
I mean, the box.
The box, like this, right? That the control boards have to mount onto, and then these also have to connect to each other.
Right.
So we want to biscuit join these as well.
Right, we're going to biscuit joint the box together, and then we'll reinforce the corners also with some little angle or corner blocks.
Now, my biggest question then is, how's the monitor going to sit in this box?
Well, the
How should we do that?
Yeah, because the monitor has to sit flush with the surface.
Yes.
And we have a little bezel that goes onto it. It needs to sit a little bit below the surface of the top. So we've measured it down, and we realized we have to put a little shelf because there's some mount brackets, so some flanges on the monitor. So we need to build some shelves in there that the flanges can sit down onto, and then we can bolt it all in place. And those will ride on the inside of the cabinet, like little shelves. Yeah.
Right. Is step 1 then the main body of the cabinet and piecing those 4 pieces together?
Yeah. First we build the box, and then we can figure out where the shelves need to go.
And then get the side panels
And
in.
then we put the side panels on.
Very straightforward.
Sure.
Let's get to building.
We hope it's simple, straightforward.
Crossing fingers. All right. Let's look at the sides then.
Let's see, what is...
Now, do you want to do the joining on those pieces first?
Oh, our extra...
Yeah. We got to do some initial biscuit joining here.
Pretty side out.
Yeah, when I made these cuts, made a mistake, cut them a little too low. So we're going to add some plywood back into it to reinforce and have the control panel sit on top of this.
Right, a little support for the control panels. So yeah, this will just be a simple, we'll just cut a couple biscuit slots, drop it in place with some glue, and it'll be fine.
Okay, let's do that first. Here, space-wise, here, here, and here.
Yeah, 1 in the center and 2 out on the edge. Okay, so we line it up on our mark. We're flat on the ground. So go to the inside measurement.
That's it, there you go.
Right on the mark. Okay. Yeah, and then
Do that. Should we glue it in now?
yeah, let's go ahead. Okay, so what we want to do is we squirt a little glue into the joints, a little bit on the biscuits, shove those in, more glue into the joints on this side, a little gravy on the biscuits, and then squeeze it all together.
And do you need to apply a lot of pressure on that for a while, while it sets?
Yeah, it would be a good idea to get some clamps just to hold it shut while the glue dries. Okay, but that's
That's
essentially
one of
does
these.
it.
All right.
We'll set this guy aside so it can dry and do the other one.
It's over here. Cool.
I'll go get the clamps.
Okay.
Okay, we'll set it aside to dry.
It won't make you watch paint dry, but glue.
Glue, you gotta watch
That's
glue
something.
dry.
That's a show. Okay, John. We just had to double check our measurements because the wood was cut several months ago.
Okay.
This is our base piece, which Wes and I had measured and cut based on. We actually made a cardboard model to match all the pieces. This is going to be the back side where there's a hinge for this to flap over. Oh, that was part of the original design.
Right, right.
And this needs to be 25
and a half, yeah.
wide for the wide control panel. That's the sideboard. And I guess the way it locks in is that the base is not as wide as the long side.
Right, because it fits inside of all the outer panels.
So the base sits here, and imagine this is the floor right here. And this panel will be flipped around upside down, but that's fine.
The clamps are in the way at the moment,
So it'll actually attach to the base on the side, on all 4 of the sides and the bottom.
Right.
And then the base will sit on 4 separate pieces.
Yes.
So we could do that right now.
Right. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll make our base for underneath this, and then we'll start attaching the sides.
Okay.
You know what, Norm? Because it's a rectangle, we can simply just put these on the outside. Just do it like that.
That was probably the intention of
That's
the
probably what you
original design.
planned.
That's right.
I meant to do it that way.
I'm gonna high five myself from 6 months ago. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, perfect. There we go. So I have about a 1/2 inch left over on this side. If you want to
Push
towards me.
Now 1/4 inch.
Yeah, so we have a 1/4 inch reveal.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll work perfectly.
Yep.
We'll put corner blocks in like that.
And then what's the best way to attach this to the base? Is that also biscuits, or do we want to use?
We can do biscuits, or we could do screws. Because right now it's upside down. When it's flipped over, everything's in compression, so all the wood is pushing onto this wood, so it kind of holds itself in place.
And will never lift by here.
Yeah, you're not going to be pulling on these really, so it doesn't need to be super strong. But we can put biscuits on it just to be consistent.
No, let's do the screws.
We can just mark it and drill holes for screws.
Let's do that.
Okay.
All right. I bought feet for it, so we should screw those in as well.
See, ideally, you'd probably want the ones that have nails on them instead of screws. Because we're just going to be going into the end of the wood here. But what we could do is we could just drill it out and put some glue in there, so it'll kind of help grab onto the screw threads, and that'll hold them in. I mean, again, it's all going to be in compression. All the weight's going to be like pushing them into where they're supposed to be anyway. Yeah. So they should be just fine.
Okay.
Actually, we can use the pin nails, just those small finish nails.
Okay.
Then it's much smaller, and you don't have a big ugly screw on there. It's lots of options. It's all deciding which one you want to go with. So, all right, let's get the air nailer and start gluing and putting it together. Don't pull the trigger until you're ready to fire it. There's a safety. Disassemble. This is the safety, so that has to be compressed in order for it to fire. And then the staple comes out of that little slot right there.
Got it.
So when you put it on there, you have to compress the slot, compress the safety, then you pull the trigger, and it fires it into the wood. So you want to make sure you line up that, like there's a seam right there. You can kind of use that as a guide. That's where the staple's going to come out. Yeah. So you don't want to put it here, because then the staple will come out over here. You want to make sure it's going to go into your wood. So you might want to turn it this way to get it to line up properly. And another safety tip is to make sure that your hands aren't near it when it fires.
Like, for example,
like where I'm holding.
Yep. So, that one in?
Yep. Also make sure it's as perpendicular to the surface as possible.
Let's go a little bit. 2.
Oh yeah, you got a double fire because it bounced. That's all right. It worked.
All right, and didn't stick out anywhere.
No. Ooh, that's all good.
Wow.
Need a frame. Actually, come to think of it, we can use the air nailer for this part too. All right.
Some glue. I'll help glue the pieces in.
Oh, you're going to be nailing too.
Nice.
All right, now we have a good strong base.
That's fine. So for this one, we're actually going to flip it around, draw the guides, and then nail from the inside.
That would be a nice, quick, and easy way to do it.
And we're aiming for the corner blocks?
Yeah, get it all over all the contact surfaces, because then it'll, everywhere it's glued is going to be a joint. So, yeah, it's glued, and then we're just going to nail right into it.
Okay.
So we'll try and center it.
I think you have too much on this side here.
Okay. Looks pretty even side to side for me. I've got about a 1/4 inch overhang.
Yep, and I have a 1/4 inch on each side.
Okay.
And then I have about an 1/8 on this side.
Okay. So I'm going to eyeball where the...
Do you have an 1/8 overhang on this side?
About a ½ inch out here.
Oh, you know what? I have to pull it a little bit toward me.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit toward me. There it goes.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. And when we flip that up,
it's all attached. Hey!
nice. And we're never going to see these staples, so that's fine. And the glue is being pressed. It's good.
Clean the extra goop out.
Watch out for any staples. So that's going to sit on the floor like this. We made itself a surface.
Right.
Now the feet next.
Yeah, let's go ahead and put the feet in.
Yeah.
We could probably just put them in. You know, we'll drill a hole, drive that in there.
And then screw them in.
Yeah, and we'll make sure the hole is deep enough so that even if this was bottomed out, it won't be pushing on anything.
Okay.
I mean, the chances of these pulling out are probably pretty good. Like if you move it and catch it on something, but you know they'll.
But as long as they hold the height.
But yeah, if it just stays in one place, it should be fine.
And we're not pulling from these. Okay.
Okay, so then we need a drill bit that's about that size. Let's see what we got. Oh, 11:30 looks dead on. Oh, pretty close. Let's do that. Here's a little trick I learned from this old house. I want to drill the hole that's at least the depth of this threading. So I'll put that on there, and then I'll put a little flag on the drill bit. So now I know that that hole is going to be that depth. So then I can drill down till the flag touches, and now I know my hole is deep enough that if this were to bottom out, it still wouldn't push out the little peg or the little insert. I mean, it'll be able to pull out, but straight up and down. There you go.
All right.
And so now we take our insert,
Then we glue that in.
shove it down in there, and then you can screw your little foot. But at least now you have adjustable feet.
Yeah, so I'm just going all the way down for now. And I wouldn't be adjusting that much anyway. Feet. I'll flip those around. Ooh, sawdust everywhere.
That means you're building.
And that will sit, hover a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to build on top of this.
Yeah, and the pieces all go on the sides.
Yes.
So what we're going to want to do is biscuit joints, because that'll help transfer the weight onto this better.
Okay.
I think structurally it probably would have been better if the wood were sitting on here, but I think cosmetically it looks nicer if you don't see the base. But that's
So
design decisions.
Several biscuit joints.
So we'll put several biscuits and it'll go all the way around, and that'll really help kind of lock it all in.
Okay. So we're doing biscuits, and the best way is to get it against the table. So if it's like that, to get it even. Oh, that works then, because
I mean, right into it.
it makes sense to do the biscuit joins on the shorter sides first, because we'll be clamping the bigger sides.
Because those, that's right.
On those, and we'll need to do biscuits on those regardless on the sides.
Right.
So we should cut the holes on the short sides, which at this point it's been half an hour.
So our glue is starting to set. So this wants to fit together like that.
That's gonna be interesting.
Ooh, right in the camera, sorry. And that side already been.
All right. Now let's do B.
Okay. Okay. One more piece?
Yep, one more big piece.
So it's probably best to kind of push right about here.
Right there.
Yeah.
Okay, along the line.
Wandered a little bit. But
do it again.
go ahead and plunge it one more time just to make sure. good news.
All fingers. Do we need to do the holes on?
See, because those
Are those going to be biscuit joined to each other?
I think we should biscuit join those as well.
Yep.
But I think we want to put those in place. I think we do the two sides. Then we lay it down, mark where this one lines up on it, because its biscuits are going to kind of tell us where it lines up.
Okay.
And then we'll mark all those sides for.
So A and C
for
first.
The biscuits.
So you have C right there.
How convenient.
We get biscuits.
Yeah, make sure you get some down into the
recesses of
the joint. And then just squirt a little bit more glue onto the tops of these guys.
Clamping this together may be a bit of a challenge.
Okay. Slide that all in there. Let's turn it on its side.
Oh, because it lies flush.
Now what we could do is we can either clamp these or we could just fire a few nails in there just to hold it while it dries. The glue is going to do the majority of the strength when it finally dries, but the pins will help hold it while it's drying.
Let's do that.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Now same for the other side.
Look, we got a side on.
Make a mess.
Oh yeah.
All right.
We line up the slots and so we want to put our solid piece on here, right? Okay, line that guy up.
How's it look on your side? How much?
I have about a little overhang.
I have little underhang.
Okay.
Oh,
how about now?
Now we're flush.
Hey, don't you love biscuits? What we'll do is we'll set up the cutter to just go down the edge. All right, I think I got it.
All right.
This face doesn't get seen, so. Next side.
Fits.
Yay!
All right. Time for
Perfect.
glue.
Okay, let's do it. Okay. And start lining them up.
The outside.
All right, we can fire a few staples into this to keep it together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Grab a new sheet of paper. On here. And there.
Look, Norm, we've got a box.
Wow.
I think we determined that the shelves want to sit against these sides, right?
Yeah, so let's illustrate that. Let's put this on the ground. And I can actually, it's going to rest. Let's see how much space there is.
It's going to be, those are going to be up about here.
Okay.
Because then
that sits
on it.
Here.
And then there's a 3/4 inch piece of ply that goes underneath here.
Okay. So we need shelves on that go from
this side and on this side. That it sits on. And then if we want to, we could also put some spacers back here.
To the front.
I think that might be more than is necessary, but
let's just do the side shelves because that'll make it easy for us to take the monitor out.
Yeah.
Because it was up there unscrewed.
And if you need to adjust it this way, you can just slide it on the shelf.
Okay.
So we want to make a couple of shelves that are no bigger than 22 inches. And that's 24 inches. So 5 5/8, and then what's half of 5 5/8?
Half of 5 5/8. Oh boy.
2 1/2 and 5/16.
2 1/2 and 13/16.
2 and 13.
2 and 13/16.
Gotta hope we're right.
Wow.
So that should be how wide our shelf is.
Okay.
2 and 13.
2 and 13/16. You got it?
So quick, before we forget it, let's set the table saw. 2 and 13/16. There we go. That's better. Gussets. Okay, so these are going to fit underneath here for strength. Time flies when we're having fun. Okay, that's one shelf.
Got the markings right.
Okay, if you can keep it marked on that side. Hey, got it. All right, now we do the same thing on the other side. Good.
Structural integrity. I'm using a lot of glue.
Yeah, you're being real generous with the glue. You might not need to use quite that much. And these will also help translate the weight of the cabinet onto the base, too.
This will sit right here like that. I'll go like there.
Yeah, I'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 4.
All right. Okay.
That center.
Might as well. Ooh. Okay.
That's just reinforce the biscuit joint.
So how about that? We just glue these together and glue them in.
So let's biscuit these,
Those are already biscuited,
but they're not glued.
they're not glued.
So let me glue those.
Okay.
And then we'll glue and staple these. I'm matching the back to be.
There we go. And on the baseboard.
Well, we're gonna have 2 screws on the bottom anyway,
Uh-huh.
right?
So we could just put some screws there?
Yeah, the black screws.
Okay. There we go. Okay, does that feel right?
Temporarily keep that there. Yep.
Okay.
And over the edge of the back is where we're gonna look at that, right?
All right. All right.
Couple blocks on the bottom.
Here. And then we also need to cut a couple big holes
Force some
for
holes, yeah, for cabling.
for cabling. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Wow. Because if we put in a computer inside, I need cables for the outside.
Oh.
So in the back.
Sure.
That's for the power. All right, the hinge. The front piece here and the hinge. And then, whew, let's pop this. Okay. Yeah, there'll be a lot of second coats and another coats of stain.
Alrighty.
John, that looks like a cabinet.
It does. It looks like a nice little gaming cabinet.
Oh my goodness, we had to do a lot of little figuring out on the spot, with building the shelves, getting this top piece in, getting the monitor to actually slide into place.
Right, there were a few little clearances of screws and bolts that we didn't
But the basic
realize.
assembly is done.
It's there.
The woodworking's all done, John.
You can start running the wiring.
Electronics and cabling and everything and the weathering. That looks amazing. Thank you so much.
Sure.
John Duncan, everyone, helping us out on our arcade cabinet build. It's a tested project. It's brought to you by Tested Premium members. I'm Norm. We'll have the next episode of electronics and then hopefully get it up and running. See you next week. Bye.